Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Chakbarash, giving double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Peace and salutations to the Akim, the brethren out there on the highways and byways pushing this truth in 100% sincerity. And peace and salutations to the few and sincere sisters who believe in this gospel. All right, so want to entitle this lesson, The Time for Peace is Over. War is on the horizon, right? The time for peace is over. War is on the horizon, right? I just want to do a quick video lesson here, right? And go into Ecclesiastes chapter 3. Yeah, Ecclesiastes chapter 3 real quick here because, um, again, a big topic going on in not just Israel, but in the world right now is this conflict going on in the Middle East. Please sign in to your vehicle before driving. You basically got a situation where Babylon is looking weak. It's looking very weak. Trump and America is looking very, very weak right now, especially with Trump. With Trump trying to, you know, pseudo beg or dry beg for help from his NATO allies, and everybody is telling him, "No, we ain't fucking with you. You got this one yourself. We ain't rocking with you on this one." You know what I'm saying? Because he's basically saying, what these Edomites try and do, they try and word it because he put out a tweet or something like that, basically saying, yeah, we've obliterated their navy, we've taken out all of their forces and everything like that, and now we are, we just need, basically saying we just need help finishing them off or something like that, right? Well, if you destroyed their navy and you obliterated them, you know what I'm saying? You basically took out their army, is what he's saying. Basically, he's saying the war or what we set to do, we've won already. We just need some help cleaning up or something like that, right? That's what he's trying to say. Well, everybody's looking at you. Well, if you really did what you say you did, which he didn't, you know what I'm saying? He didn't. Then you wouldn't be asking for help. You wouldn't be needing any help or nothing like that, right? So Babylon is looking weak. Trump is looking very desperate. And it's not looking good for America right now. It's not really looking good, especially when it comes to this particular conflict, right? So I want to read this, right? This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, starting at verse 1. It says, "To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. What profit hath he that worketh in that wherein he laboreth? I have seen the travail which the Most High have given to the sons of men to be exercised in it, right? So basically, there's a time for everything, right? There's a time for everything, and particularly a time for war and a time for peace. Well, right now, we're in the time of war. You know what I'm saying? Scriptures say that the Lord is going to gather the nations. Let's go here to Zephaniah chapter 3. Let's go here. Salakia. I just read it this morning. Yeah, here it is. Salakia. Let me start at verse 7. Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 7. It says, I said, surely thou wilt fear me, thou wilt receive instruction, so that dwelling should not be cut off. Howsoever I punished them, but they rose early and corrupted all their doings. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy, right? So, also as the scriptures say, the least of the flock shall draw them out, right? The least of the flock being the 1948ers, right? And they've already drawn America out. Now, what's going to happen is all of these other nations are going to eventually get involved. They're going to eventually get involved in this conflict, right? That's really what's going to happen. Somehow, some way, these other nations are going to get pulled into it, right? And that's going to be full-fledged World War III, right? But again, we're waiting on the MOTB to come to pass. And before the MOTB comes to pass, that means economic turmoil, because what has to happen is, the MOTB has to be justifiable, and it has to be, the people have to be in a position to, where they're not even just willing to accept it, but basically begging for it, right? Now, these people, you Babylonians, you people out there in the world, you're not going to know, because of economic turmoil and everything, you're not going to know that you're begging for the MOTB to come, but you're going to beg for a solution for what's going to happen, for what's happening out here, right? You're going to beg for a solution. Salakia, 1 second. I got to move this truck. 1 second, Salakia. But you're going to be, you people, you Americans are going to be begging for a solution for what's going to happen out here in the world, right? There's going to be economic turmoil. There's going to be a lot of T attacks, right? There's going to be a lot of uprisings. There's going to be a lot of things that's happening out here on the earth. And really is going to be manufactured. That's another thing that people don't talk about. This whole famine, the shortage, rising fuel prices and all of that. All of this stuff is really something that's manufactured. Like even here in Babylon the Great, just because Iran closed down the Strait of Hormuz, right, doesn't necessarily mean that the fuel prices had to go up here. It doesn't really mean that the fuel prices had to rise here in America, right? Number one, I don't believe we really get a lot of our fuel or oil from there. And two, we've got oil reserves right here on this land that they don't want to tap into, right? They want to, but this is the devil, right? This is the devil. This is the devil. They want to go all over the world and conquer the earth, but the resources that they have here, they don't want to use it. But it's, this is the devil. He does everything backwards. He does everything, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the things that these Edomites do just doesn't make sense, So, yeah, man, this is the time that we're living in. So, you gotta spiritually prepare, gird up your loins, and hey, get ready to see, what's going to come to pass. See these scriptures coming to life, right? So, man, that's what all I wanted to do was just get this quick lesson going. Lord willing, this was edifying, giving our praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Hakodash. Until next time, Shalom.